34-13, putting Cowboy Tolos in a giddy mood over the course of the weekend. Good morning, Metroplex and 6 a.m. Club. Best audience of the entire show. We got the entire squad back together again with RJ Choppy back from Michigan. Shan, Cowboys insider Bobby Belt. And Bob, not much to complain about.
No, this is 2 games in a row where you feel pretty good about everything. Now, the only question is, you've never seen them do this in the preseason, like not recently. They don't play this well typically. But then you got to just ask yourself, like, how much does it mean? We haven't seen it, and they haven't won a Super Bowl. So when we see them perform like this, does that equal up to anything else? But this is there are a couple things that I think you can be really excited about on both sides of the ball, and things you can extrapolate, even if you can't say that this somehow means they're going to make the playoffs.
Let's begin. Star up for Choppy's Tennessee Volunteer, Joe Milton. I think we're all sitting here this morning saying that the job competition should be over and that Joe Milton should be your 2. First half, 9 of 13, 179, 13.8 a throw, 2 touchdowns for a 151.4 rating for Big Joe.
It looked like he kind of figured out touch. Mm-hmm. You know, that was he had 2 issues, right? It was just there was 0 and there was 100 and there was no in between. And then the other one was, you know, he may have been a little bit slower to pick up reading defenses.
Yeah, like some of the pre-snap stuff, some of the things you got to do at the line of scrimmage, it takes a while for a lot of guys to pick up.
And his feel within the pocket, I mean, on that touchdown call right there to Malik, that was a 3rd and 6 scramble, the improvisation. Yeah. You know, knowing when to get rid of it, just having a feel. He had a dime that was actually dropped by Kuntz on 2nd and 13. He responded with the 53-yard dime to Mingo to make it 4-0. He had the 70-yarder to Camden Brown. That was on 3rd down that eventually led
across his body.
The scramble.
And eventually led to a draw on a rushing touchdown. So he did it in a variety of ways.
And like the pass to Mingo, I mean, he did have to step up in the pocket a little bit, and you have to have a little bit of pocket mobility and pocket awareness, and that's something that he had just kind of lacked. And then the touch is what it stood out to me, because that was what his bugaboo was in Cowboy. Everything was high. Everything was high last year. Maybe it's Schottenheimer, maybe it's Clayton, maybe it's just him figuring things out.
Just weird to see, like, development around here. Todd Haley would tell me my first year in Kansas City, and his dad was a pro personnel guy for Pittsburgh. He goes, you all need to learn this out here. Like, the National Football League, much of this is about development. We do have to make these players better. We do have to make these players grow. And once we get them here in this building, you have to account for the offseason of whether they're going to get better or whether they're going to get worse. And I'm just so used to your Trey Lances of the world, or the projects that start off bad who don't necessarily improve. So it's just kind of weird to go to Oxnard and say, wow, Joe Milton's been working on something. Joe Milton has been developing. Now, maybe none of this translates at all to the regular season, knock on wood, and hopefully we don't have to see him. But props to Joe, props to the developmental people for him improving.
Yeah, because this is the whole lottery ticket purchase that they do with quarterbacks or other positions where you're like, well, let's just see, maybe, or they get a first rounder who's busted somewhere else, or a second rounder like Jonathan Mingo. You acquire somebody who's had problems and say, let's see if we can go ahead and develop them a little bit. And very rarely do they develop, but occasionally those 5 numbers that pop up will be yours, and then it's okay. This lotto ticket was worth investing, and you hope that's what Joe Milton's finding right now.
Let's hear from Joe after the game with thoughts on the performance.
Tonight was great. Was able to go out there and showcase what I got, what we've been working hard towards this whole camp. So it was great. My comfort level was amazing. Way more confident than I was last year.
He also, to me, seems like a little bit more grounded and calm in the interview. Like the interview on TV, I'm expecting goofy backflip Joe Milton, and he's like giving the professional, generic PR answers, even though that he's just, I think he said his goal for the season was to have fun. So I'm expecting kind of zany personality Joe Milton. What is the biggest difference from this preseason to last year?
Man, major difference. you get to do a lot more. When I say that, there's a lot more to our offense that we able to do, change as the quarterback position. So you're able to do all that. You're able to make sure that your points is right, making sure the way that you're reading the play is correct. So just being able to go through that process of a whole year being in this offense until now, it's great.
Over?
It should be. I mean, I don't know. There's obviously something you could do. He could have like an awful week of practice. He could pop up and start throwing a bunch of picks, and Sam Howell could look really, really good. But I would say this. I don't think – I mentioned this on the pregame show on Saturday. I don't think there's a way Joe Milton's not on the roster. Like the question of – do they keep 3 quarterbacks or not, I think comes down to where is Joe Milton in the depth chart. If he's second, they keep 2. If he's third, then they keep 3. Because I don't think they want to just cut Joe Milton or move on from Joe Milton. I think they want to continue to invest in his upside. And so, depending on where Howell finishes in that, I think depends on if they keep 3 quarterbacks or not.
Did you give Sam Howell star down?
Yes, I did. So the interception was obviously not a good one while you're driving into the red zone. And when you're talking about all the margins matter, and he was not awful before that. He was whatever. He was, playing it safe. He was doing what he needed to do. But when you then throw an interception after the performance that Joe Milton had, and the margins are so thin when it comes to competition, then
it was a bad pick.
Yeah, and it's star up for Joe Milton playing as well as he did. And it's such a good performance that even without the pick, that's probably a star down to Sam Howell.
Did Schottenheimer end things in the postgame right here on The Fan?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think, Joe's put together 2 really, really good halves. Sam really made one mistake, down in the red zone, kind of got fooled on one and turned it over. That can't happen, but, this is long from over. And, going back to Frisco, thankfully, and get a chance to be home and put some more training camp days in. But got to give Joe his credit. He's played really well the last 2 games, but we have a lot of confidence in Sam as well.
I would say thankfully with this heat.
Yeah, they'll be inside. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Star up here on 105.3 The Fan. Is it over at number 2 running back as well?
Twitter's not going to let you do that. The fan text isn't going to let you do that.
Still fighting for Jaden Blue?
Oh, hell yeah. They're going to be fighting. They could have been fighting for Jaden Blue if he would have had 5 yards yesterday. Or on Saturday. The fact that he had 75 and had 2 hurdles, he hurdled somebody, and as soon as you hurdle somebody, that buys you an extra 3 weeks in their minds. And so he had the hurdles, and he was fine. He slipped on his first run. He had an issue there, but from that point on, 75 yards, showed a little bit of wiggle, showed the, athleticism with the hurdling and things like that. It's fine. It's not enough for me to throw him a star up. It's not enough for me to go, you really put to bed all the concerns about you.
He was fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with what Jaden did.
I still think Malik Davis played better.
He played better. He's got more. I mean, it feels like he's got a lot of burst through the line. Like, I just have more faith in Malik Davis. Getting me, those yards, it's a 3rd and 3. I just have more faith in Malik Davis getting those yards.
He was the 4th running back the final day of practice. Jaden Blue was. I mean, Phil Maffa was out, so he could have been 5th, but he was the 4th running back in practice behind Abanikanda, Javonte Williams, and then Malik Davis.
Maffa had a really nice 15-yard rushing touchdown. Here's Shoddy on the running back room competition now after Javonte.
Yeah, I think he feels the competition. I think he feels the fact that this is a deep room. I mean, I can't step up to a podium and answer a question about the running back room without mentioning Izzy. I mean, and then Phil Maffa has a touchdown, and Malik is what he is, and Jaden, so these guys got to go. I mean, and it's been fun for us to watch them, in pass protection. But when you don't practice, it's hard to go in there and perform the way he did. So that's progression for him and something that he should take a lot of pride in.
When you don't practice, it's hard to go in there and perform the way he did. He's talking about Jaden Blue right there. He's also referenced Malik Davis with that blitz pickup. He trucked a defender early on, did have a fumble while returning a kick, but the Cowboys ended up recovering. Star up,
I'm not a fan.
Star down right here. You wouldn't know, Broadus. You were in the ICU. We'll get to that coming up. Well, he probably still was watching as our fan video coordinator showed. We'll get to that later on. Other star ups.
Jaishawn Barham was incredible.
He's the fan favorite.
All the discussion about him and the way he performed at practices. Linebacker is similar to running back in the sense that when they get on the field, you still need to see like 80% of of it in game action. And he got the chance in game action, and he looked really, really good. Like, it was an immediate impact where you felt, all right, there's somebody on the field who's better than other people that are out here.
Nick Eatman was like, this happened years ago where you're in the press box and you're like, it's like the sound of a bat. Diaz, you heard the sound off his bat with the home run. And Nick said that's the way it sounds when Barham hits somebody. And you're like, oh, that's something a little bit different with 55.
Yeah, and he's what was it? It was 3 years ago whenever Overshown made his debut. And I remember they were playing the Jaguars, I think it was, and Tank Bigsby runs in the hole, and DeMarvion Overshown completely stood him up. That's a 250-pound bowling ball running back, and it was one of those things where I was just kind of like, whoa. And I remember somebody from player personnel was standing over in the dining area and walked over and was walking by me. I was like, that's a big effing man that he just stood up in the hole. And then it was the next week, I think he tore his ACL against Seattle in the preseason, and you lost him for the year. But Barham, it's that same sort of feel where you see instantly he's dipping blockers, he's playing with a lot of physicality, he's in the right position, he plays really, really aggressively. That was a different football player on the field than anybody else on Arizona that was trying to stop him.
He smiles when he plays, and he just frowns when he doesn't.
He smiles when there's no camera on him, apparently, is what we've learned. As soon as he sees a camera, then he's got to go back into... there's a little bit of performativeness there, I think. Because he's laughing or chuckling.
When is he going to have to do an interview? When is he going to have to talk?
He's done one, I think. He did one,
I want to go back to his draft day call, Pepe. I want to go back to that. I'll be fascinated to hear it. Were you on that?
Yeah, I can't. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember him being super upbeat. I think he was very
I got to go back and listen to it.
The league rule starts week 1 with you have to talk once a week.
It starts during training camp. It's just a matter of if the pro football writers
complain.
Basically, if they report you for it or not.
We wanted to see if things would translate from Oxnard. It did early on.
Back and looking and standing and throwing left. The receiver fell down. It's intercepted. 25, 20, 15, Rebel. He was looking for former Cowboy Simi Fehoko, who fell down, and Savon Rebel said, I know what to do with this. And there's the first takeaway of the night, and a 22-yard return for Rebel.
And Broadus gave Barham an assist on that play because his feet got tangled up with the Cardinals wideout. Revel flag on the first play, gets a pick on the first drive, and I think there was a little pressure from Malachi Lawrence as he got put back out there to play with Caleb Downs on the sidelines.
You know what? It's the best part of that play was not even the actually interception. That's nice. Receiver fell down, whatever. I was got excited watching him move. I was like, oh, Revel's got the ability to change direction now. The knee's not bugging him that much that he didn't look fluid moving with the ball. That's the most athletic he's looked. Because I think there's a little bit of a thought. People forget he was supposed to be a 4-4 guy coming out of, East Carolina. And when you see him move with the ball in his hands, it's like, oh, that looks like a fluid athlete who's not, worried about the stability of his knee anymore. So actually, the return was something that really stood out to me.
The Christian Parker defense was really kind of a main takeaway from game 1. A little more subdued with the reaction after game 2 because the offense in the first half was the story of this game, especially with Joe Milton leading the way. What about defensively and other star up, star downs?
Well, I mean, look, people have been talking the last 24 hours, the excitement over this. I went down the hall to get coffee, and they're like, it's a good team. Super Bowl. We go to the Super Bowl.
I can't wait for 720.
What's 720?
I just teased it.
Oh, okay.
What it means, what actually matters. But yeah, there's hype.
There's hype, man. There's hype. And after these first 2 preseason games, if you put any stock in their preseason games, which I put 0, you should be excited about that.
You got a star for the tight end?
Zach Kuntz. I'm not sure if that's Rusty's kid or not. He was a Major League Baseball player.
Are you sure you're pronouncing that right?
Pretty sure. Okay. Not going to try the other one.
Good.
I'll tell you that. But look, the tight end room is not. We're not writing home about the tight end room.
Tight end room's fine.
It's fine. It's not like, oh my God, electric.
Why is it good after Jake Ferguson?
Brevin Spanford's not a bad player. Brevin Spanford continues to grow. If you want to talk about guys we've seen do, when we talk about development last segment, he has been a guy who is consistently shown improvement and gotten better. And so if Schoonmaker's then your third, or
Travis Spanford has 18 career catches.
Yeah, just like, but if you want to talk about development and who he's been as a player, especially as a blocker and red zone guy, he's been good.
Of the tight end room. We just keep talking about how good he is, but he hasn't ever
you feel like if Ferguson misses like 4 games, they'll be okay? 5 games?
Yeah, I think he can replicate Ferguson's production.
Oh, okay.
And so you've got Schoonmaker, and then you've got Trigg behind him as a third or fourth, who's a nice athletic option, who's obviously dealing with his toe injury right now. But no, I think is like 4. Like that's an above average tight end room.
Okay. I thought I liked what I saw from him. He's probably not going to matter in the long run, but
3 for 36, had a 25-yarder.
Yep. And that one ball that he dropped. I mean, you could. You said he could have had it. I thought it also could have been a hospital ball thrown by Joe. Into some coverage to get him lit up. But that was a nice little game from him. Put some good stuff on tape.
Yeah, if you want to talk about star up, it's the first time I think I've ever noticed Jay Toia outside of when, Zach Wolchuk's asking him to do the haka and then having to be told that's not my people that do the haka, Zach Wolchuk. But no, I thought
Zach would have gone up to that crowd there for the offensive lineman and been like,
come on, guys, come on, Navajo Nation, let's do the haka.
Give me the tomahawk chop.
No, but it's the good performance.
You know Ron Gant? Any guys?
Ron Gant.
I love those TBS, man.
Ron Gant was a good player.
He was a really good player. Interesting batting stance.
No, but
you knew Steve Avery?
Jay Toia, I think they actually do. I think Chiafalo's like related to him or something.
What?
There's some weird connection. There's some weird connection he has to a Braves pitcher. No, not Ron Gant.
Not Ron Gant.
No, definitely not Ron Gant.
Sure it's not Mark Lemke?
No, I can't remember who it was. There's some
John
weird
Rocker,
connection.
probably.
There. No, it's not John Rocker.
Could be Rocker.
I mean, they share the same views, right?
You didn't have to add this.
No, I did.
You had it,
You didn't have to Bobby the second part. Just let the first part. Let it get its reaction.
So Jay Toia, he was good the other night. That's the first time I've noticed him being disruptive in a practice or a game for that matter. And then star up for me. I mean,
a bat down and then a quarterback hit where, man, he showed some explosion and some physicality. And I think on that same drive, Sam Williams had a sack with Rashawn Gary live with Tommy Yaris as Gary was going crazy. And I'm like, dang, I never heard about this guy to the team leader aspect that I'm hearing and seeing him about here versus Green Bay.
Yeah, in fact, like on his way out, there were people going, malcontent, he's just difficult, he's this or that. Speaking of Sam Williams, got to give him a star up. He had 4 quarterback pressures in this game in 16 pass rush snaps, so he ended up performing well in this one. Overall, I think just in general, the trench game was something that was a star up for me because I thought Malachi Lawrence played well. I thought Sam Williams played well. Jay Toia played well. Those were all things that made it easier for guys like Jaishawn Barham to be able to flash when they're doing their jobs in front of him.
And Camden Brown was the absolute superstar from game 1. He did have a 70-yard gain, but right there in competition, and I know a lot of Tolos don't want to hear it, and we're doing this whole 5 and 6 wide receiver room battle, but Jonathan Mingo, Brian Schottenheimer told us last week he was having a hell of a camp.
At the 45, and Milton is back. All kinds of time. He airs this out deep. He got a man left. Mingo at the 15-10. Mingo dances in. Bingo, bango, mingo. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Beautiful throw from Joe Milton. Picture perfect. 2 for 62. The 53-yarder. Touchdown. Mingo.
It's a beautiful throw. It was a really nice route from Mingo.
Yeah.
The little kind of like stutter stop and then take off again. He was a second-round pick for a reason in terms of like his ability. He does have raw ability here. It's just been an issue of like, does he put it together ever? And he hadn't been the first few years. He's looked good during this training camp. The question the Cowboys really have to measure is, has he shown enough in this training camp to change our mind that all of a sudden he's going to start doing this when it matters? And that's the biggest thing they got to figure out.
Shotty talking about him after.
Yeah, he's playing with so much confidence, Calvin, and each week in and out, beating man-to-man, the double move was awesome. But the confidence is real. and he knows he belongs, and he knows that he can, make plays. But he's back returning kicks, he's making tackles on special teams. Like, he's a football player, and I don't think I could have said that about him when we got him, 2 years ago or whatever it was. But make no mistakes, he is a damn good football player.
So he's stressing him here over the last week.
I know that we're really happy with that room. You can never have too many of those guys that can play. And if you could find a way to make him part of that rotation.
You could just cut Turpin. And then keep both of them.
I mean, sure.
Oh, who's your return guy then?
I don't know, somebody who actually knows what a fair catch is and somebody who will not like spin into a tackler.
Or whatever that spinning run out of bounds thing was.
The Caitlin Clark of kick returns.
Shoot it back in bounds.
Turpin's the Caitlin Clark of kick returns, where he's just going to be overrated as hell.
You must have missed her again yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was nice. She went 8 for 12 after going like 2 for 20 in the previous 3 games combined.
Tolos, you'd never. That'll be your last L that you don't ever admit to.
You said I was getting a dub on that
early.
But we're not going to undo 3 years for 2 weeks.
Her season.
She has individual games where she pops a little more. Congratulations, she can look nice on a Friday night when she puts on the black dress and stuff. But most of the rest of the week, it's whatever.
What are Tolos saying for star up, star down?
469 Barham is the next Ray Lewis. 214 Malik Davis is clearly RB2. 817 star up to Joe, Malik, and Mingo. Star down to the defensive secondary, and the 516 star up to Pete. Keep him on the roster for pregame speeches.
What a perfect lead-in. Set this up again, Bobby, as we did mess up in training camp not getting this interview.
Shiash Pete, he is the first player from the Navajo Nation to make it to the NFL. We had played clips from him from his OTA interviews, really just mature and wise old 50-year-old soul at 22 years old or whatever he is, but a giant offensive tackle from Kentucky who is competing for a spot here on the roster, and got a chance to do the post-game speech when there were like 1,000 people from the Navajo Nation that bought up a section for the Cardinals game and traveled to see him the other night.
And this is the #1 clip of the weekend that I got sent to me. Everywhere. I got tagged in. It was nonstop. People want him on the roster now, no matter the ability, just because of this.
This game, this star, this team will make us brothers.
Hey, man, hey, be quick. 1, things to clean up for sure always is, right? Okay? But the play style's right. It's right. I'm proud of you guys for that. But I saw something I've never seen before. 25 years in the NFL. An entire section cheering for one man. And that man's gonna break us down.
Well, that was an incredible win. I am very fortunate to be amongst you and to play in the same field where the same star hold it on our chest. And I'm proud of us. I'm proud of how far we've come. Man, this game, fate brought us here as strangers, but this game, this star, this team will make us brothers.
One, two, three,
and everyone ate that up. Loved it.
You know who is eating it up right now? Just yesterday, Kirk Herbstreit, who quote tweeted it and said, "The teams that get this are dangerous." Awesome message from the big fella, and a reminder for all teams at every level about what camp is about and what makes this game so special. Good luck, big man. Rashawn Gary's tweeting the little fist bump emoji to it. Wow. Guys love it. He is a wise old man.
Does he have any chance?
Probably not for the active roster. He's so raw. I mean, he just started playing football, I think, at the end of high school. And
that's crazy.
Big dude, but somebody who, Dane Brugler wrote about it, said he was the 54th offensive tackle in his rankings this past year. And he said that he had talked to a scout and said, nicest, most polite kid that I had there. The Kentucky coaches tried to make him more of a P word with rhymes with Rick. So he said, tried to make it more of that, and they wanted a little bit more of an edge from him because he's such a polite soul. But he had a couple of reps where he looked really physical. Now he missed the block on the Phil Maffa touchdown where he had to loop back the other way. But guy who obviously at the size that he is, which is just a mountain of a man, it's probably worth something that I would imagine they're going to say, all right, let's try to find a way to get him on the practice squad and develop him.
Star up, star down.